Okay, guys. Hi. Hope everyone's well. I'm not sure if we're going to have any viewers. This is a bit of an experiment. So we'll see what's coming up. If anyone's going to say hi. So the idea of this is just a quick introduction and hi to everybody out there who's in the world of e-bikes. And the idea is to sort of, I don't know, have a look at and try or discuss the different bikes that I've tried recently, especially the world of e-bikes. So how do we say this? Okay, so I've tried pretty much every lightweight e-bike out there at the moment. And I hope the audio is good, by the way. So let me just have a quick listen. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. So tried every lightweight e-bike out there. And these e-bikes are fundamentally the new generation of e-bikes. So there's been a move towards, let's say, saving weight, because everybody has been complaining, shall we say, who's coming from the world of normal mountain bikes, that basically they're a bit heavy. E-bikes are a bit heavy. Well, the more that you try them, the more that you realize, especially when you start testing should we say lightweight e-bikes, you start to think, well, maybe some people have a point. Maybe. We don't know. Anyway, well, you don't know until you try them. So I've been testing quite a few of them, and yeah, I mean, basically, I'm here now to give you guys question and answer sessions. So I've tried pretty much everything out there. So we've got the Trek Caliber, which I just tried, which is an interesting cross-country bike. I've just tried the NOX, which is that's an enduro electric bike, lightweight. And I've also tried Specialized Turbo Levo SL and the Canevo SL, which I've got right now, which is an interesting bike. In fact, it feels a little bit almost like one of the most normal e-bikes out there. I've also been on the Lapierre E-Zesty that I tried a long time ago. So another interesting e-bike, and I had another go on it recently. But I've also testing the new Fatsua motor system. So there's quite a lot of different things going on out there. And with e-bikes or lightweight e-bikes, the only one I haven't tried, and I don't think anyone's actually tried it yet, which is the Forestal, which has got a new, let's say, motor from Bafang, and that hasn't been tested. That's the only one I haven't. There's also another bike out there which not many people would have heard of, which is called the Rotwild 375 and the RE 375. Again, another lightweight e-bike using the Shimano motor with a reduced power on it. A little bit similar to the Orbea Rise, which I've also tested. So basically, I'm sat here now for the next few minutes to see if this works. And if it does work, I'll leave this video up. And if it doesn't, I'll delete it. Because I don't really want to have any particular. Let's have a look at the settings here. Let's change the bit rate. I think we're getting quite a low bit rate here. So yeah, so basically the point is I'm waiting for your questions, and if there's any questions out there, just give me a shout them in the chat there, and we'll see what we can come up with, because it'll be interesting to hear what you guys are looking for when it comes to lightweight e-bikes and if they're worth it, because it's quite an interesting subject, let's say. And we got a little bit too much on the stream there. Let's drop in frames. So let's back that down a bit. So this is the first time I've actually done a live stream on YouTube, actually. So you're going to have to bear with me for and be patient, because I'm sorry about this. Anyway. Let's see if that goes back to green. There's a few drop frames. Oh, back to green. There we go. Because I've got to get the bit rate right for the upload speed. It's quite complicated, should we say. Yeah, OBS streaming. In fact, I've come to respect a little bit more the guys who are streaming day by day, actually. So, interesting concept. So, guys, if you've got anything to say, there's a few viewers there at the moment, a couple of viewers. I'm interested to hear your opinions or any questions that you want to know. We could actually go through and look for some videos together, which could be an interesting idea, but I don't want to get too boring. So anyway, so leave your shout outs in the chat and we'll find out what's going on, if anyone's actually going to chat. But for a first time stream, I'm not expecting a great deal, let's be honest. Anyway, it's hot here today, oh my God. For those who want to know where we're testing most of the time and what we're doing, we're actually based in Italy. Okay, we're dropping frames. Let's go back and undrop those frames. Based in Italy, so we get a chance to ride in some pretty fantastic locations, I have to admit. And yeah, so we get to ride and play with pretty much everything that's on the market as well. So, and I just thought I'd bring it to this channel as well, some of that experience that I've got testing bikes. So, let's just put something in the chat. Let's have some questions from anyone who's out there. We've got a few online viewers. Got an excellent connection, it says. That's good. Anyway. So I'm just going to have a look. I've just been preparing, actually, the test for the Orbea rides, and I think we could take a look at that now, actually, and have a quick squidge at what that test is like. So, in fact, no, I can't. If I do that, I make my computer go crazy. So... Anyway, the Orbea Rise, in fact, I think probably quite a good idea to just sort of go through each one internally, figure out what we've been testing. So the Orbea Rise is a lightweight Shimano-based motor. Now, it's the latest one that I'm going to have a test up soon. It's got a 361-hour battery, a 60 Newton meter Shimano motor. So that means it's the same as the normal motor, but it's been reduced in power and size. Or power, and current draw, let's say it like that. So, in theory, it's it's a reduced system. It doesn't mean to say it's weak, because it's not weak. It's actually quite a surprising system, I have to admit. I was shocked and surprised by the quality of the bike and how well it works. So, interesting. Now, let's have a look. We've got an average watch time. We've got 3 viewers on at the moment. How many viewers have we got going on? Anyway, give us a shout out, guys, if you're there. Have a chat, because it'd be nice to actually interact with you. That's the whole point. It's quite hard just to sit here and stream. Anyway, but the live is working. I've been on for 8 minutes already. Wow, that's gone by quick. Just talked to myself for 8 minutes. It's interesting when you go on the video game chats, they're like, hi chat, and they're all up there chatting. So, yeah, I was dropping frames, I've dropped viewers. That's not surprising. Anyway, it's a bit of an experiment, this, so I don't know if it's going to work. The setup's pretty simple. Hopefully the sound is okay, because it's quite hard to get the sound right. If I listen in, sounds good. I might actually put this in private mode once it's done. It's just a test. But anyway. So yeah, Orbea Rise. It's an interesting bike. I've basically discovered it's more of a cross-country trail bike rather than an enduro bike. In fact, I would say that the video that they put online might be a little bit misleading when they launched it, because when you do ride it like that, it is a little bit underbiked, let's say, compared to the video. Maybe they've got a very lightweight rider. I'm not quite sure. Interesting. So anyway, so let's go and have a look on the websites, actually. Let's see if we can get this to work. Let's add a website browser, shall we? Let's take a browser in there. Create a new browser. Okay, browser. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's see if we can get the browser coming up. Just added a browser source. Okay, no, we don't want that. No, we don't want a browser. We do not want that. So let's take that off. I sure want to move browser. Yes. Let's see if we can get this working. Oh my gosh, it's quite complicated. Video capture versus window capture. Here we go. Let's see if we can get that to come up. Okay, start with Windows. What do we want to capture? Let's do Safari. Hey, that's got Safari up there. Images, Google Drive. So let's get ourselves Yeah, we're doing this a bit on the fly here, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's get into Safari there. And let's go to Orbea. Rise. So let's get this up online. Go up onto the Orbea Rise. Should come into the switch in now. There it is. Hopefully I'll go live when it's switched across. Has it come up? There we go. It's coming. It's a bit slow. Oh my God. I think I'm overloading my internet, really. Anyway, let's fade that across in a minute. Let's just do the window capture. Okay, let's keep that centralized there and go. Okay, there's the Orbea. That's the website. So let's just fade into that. Okay, so that's the Orbea Rise that we're talking about. Now, if we want to go through this bike there, it's actually got quite a lot of features on it. It's one of the most well-specified lightweight e-bikes I've actually ever used. It's got a full XTR kit on it. So XTR brakes, XTR shifting, XTR cassette. That's pretty impressive, I have to say. I mean, we're talking the best quality out there. There's nothing better than that. And then we've got full Fox suspension. So it's certainly well spec'd, but, and this is the point that I'm a bit sort of dubious about, is when we go to their videos, if we actually, I think if we can click the video, I might overload my network doing this, but we'll see what comes up. Okay, so let's have a look at their video together there. And it's a bit jumpy, but we get the general idea. I mean, essentially what we've got going on here, and I want to get to the right bit. We're going to overcook the connection, hopefully not. So this riding here, this is what I want to talk about. This riding here, that's correct. I agree with that. You can ride uphill pretty well. Let's just give that a quick pause. I would say when it moves on and we've got more of this, I'm not completely convinced. Now, I'm a 90 kilo rider and I believe that they are overselling the bike capabilities here. If you're a lightweight, small rider, this stuff here the guy's doing is possible. If you're like me, 90 kilos, beast on a bike, I would suggest probably not the ideal type of use for this bike. You probably find yourself underbiked very quickly, which is interesting. Anyway, so I've paused it there because it's telling me that I've got a low stream, but the stream health is excellent, apparently. Anyway, so sorry guys, you have to bear with me. Every now and then I'm going to have a quick check. Right, so that's the Orbea Rise. Now, I believe they're overselling the capabilities of this bike. Because when I was riding enduro trails, like what you can see in that image there, I would say that I was feeling like I was on the limit of that bike. I was basically, let's just hide that, window capture, so, and then fade. So I was basically underbiked. I mean, I couldn't get my body weight in the right position. The bike felt quite nervous. It's not short, but it's certainly not what I would want if I'm riding all mountain enduro trails. Now, all mountain enduro, what is that? Well, we're talking, steepish descents with quite a lot of, let's say, rocks and crap strewn everywhere. So you're not all over the trail. You're not talking about perfect bike park trails. We're talking about rugged stuff. And I just don't really think that bike has that capability of going completely rugged, in my opinion. But, there we go. So am I dropping frames again? Oh, I'm back. So I've got a new internet connection, so hopefully it works, but it's a bit dodge. So everyone's going to have to be really patient. Yeah. The stream's a bit jumpy. It's like a 1990s webcam stream. Let me see. Turn the bit rate down, maybe. We don't want to go too low, because otherwise you can't see us. Yeah, this is the problem with living in the countryside, where it's brilliant to ride. You don't have a brilliant internet connection, so we just have to make do with what we've got. But anyway, there we go. Right, so that was the Orbea Rise. Let's go on to a different one. Let's move on to another one. So I want to show you the Rotwild RE375, which has only just been launched. So now it's extreme. Let's start there. Right, let's just see if we can switch that in. And we'll go back and we'll switch that in. Window capture, show it. Okay, we'll fade to that. Right, that's the Rotwild RE375. Now, they call it an extreme build. I would agree with that. It's incredibly extreme. It's like 63-degree head angle. So we're talking verging on downhill bike. It's really open. But when you take this on trails that are rough, this thing floats over everything. Now, the reason I put this up next is because it's got the same motor. It's got a Shimano EP8 motor. Now, this one was actually very quiet as well, which was interesting. It wasn't like the other motors that I've been having to deal with recently, which have been a little irritating, to say the least. So anyway, basically, testing 1, 2. We got that button. Jumping out. Is the audio crapping out? Oh, it's back. That's very bizarre. Anyway. Just checking which sound sources. This is very confusing, OBS. Anyway, see how it works. I'm trying to keep USB1, mic, aux. See which one that is. No, that's fine. Bit of practice. Sorry, guys. Anyway. Let's get back to this bike. Now, if we have a look, they got a couple of versions of it. This is the core version. I actually tried. That one's got 150 mil travel. The Pro version has got 180 or 170. I think it's 170 actually. This bike was fantastic. What's very interesting about this bike, and I do want to go down a bit and have a look at it, the seat post, because that seat post there, let's zoom in on that, is integrated. It's custom made for that bike. Now, super interesting concept. Got to play with it. Worked exceptionally well. I was actually impressed by that bike's build quality overall. It's one of the most engineered bikes I have ever ridden. Now, also, I haven't got a picture of it right now, but if you go and have a look at the battery section, let's have a look at the battery section. Again, it's another design. Oh, there's the price there, which is pretty expensive. Yeah, we're talking from 8,999. We'll talk about pricing in a minute, but for the moment, I'm not going to get into that because it gets a bit, should we say, yeah. Anyway, let's have a look at the frame features. I don't know if I can see the back side of the frame with the battery slots in, because that's what's one of the most interesting elements of this bike. That battery, it's a 375 watt-hour battery, and it goes in this down tube, and it just looks really good, but it's really slim. And it was surprising, actually. It made the weight of the bike feel not much more than a heavy enduro bike. So I didn't weigh it, but we were around 20 kilos, maybe, which for a 170mm travel bike, pretty good. Maybe a little bit less, actually, but build was pretty cool. Setup was good. I mean, if you look at all the components on their brakes, are obviously epically good. Shimano XTR discs, just perfect stoppers. Yeah, anyway. So that was that one. I loved it. It was brilliant. But it's an extreme bike. So if you're a really good rider, you really like to go fast, jump over stuff, it's possibly interesting for you. Otherwise, I probably would stay away from it. Not going to have the most fun with that bike. So let's move on to the next bike. Let's just go back so we don't get trapped in a world of windows open and stuff. So let's unfade that, fade it back. There we go. Hello everybody, I'm back. But the computer does have a bit of a, there's a bit on the blink when I put the stream settings. Let's go back to the stream settings. Oh, my computer's getting slow. You need powerful computers for streaming. It's a bit like e-bikes. There's never an end, to be honest. It's always a bit more, a bit, to do, to think, to find. So just drop those frames. Come on. CPU usage is there. I think it's the connection. Yeah, it's just dropping frames now. Oof. Connection slowed down. Not great. Sorry, guys. About that. Let's try and get that. I just accidentally opened another program. I don't want to do that. So yeah, I was trying to get back to the next bike, which is going to be the Trek Caliber. I'm sure this will come up. A bit slow. I'm overloading my internet. Oh well. Really slow. Here we come. So track caliber. Don't like Google at the moment. There we go. E-caliber. Here we go. Now, unfortunately, the website's come up in Italian, so I have to switch out. We just need the photos at the end of the day, so that's okay. Let's just put that capture back, put that screen back. Go fade. It should come up. Here we go. You have to excuse it's in Italian, but that's because the country I'm in. So, it's going to be a bit juddery. Sorry, guys. But yeah, dynamic websites when you're trying to stream, not the best thing. Let's see if we can get. Let's have a look at the bike. So it looks fine on mine. So let's get down to the bike. Here we go. So this is a caliber. It's got 100 mils of travel. It's essentially a cross-country e-bike. Now, there's a couple of brands out there that have done these. It looks brilliant. I mean, let's be honest. It looks amazing. The concept, product quality, tested it, ridden it. It's not bad, but I think it could do with a little bit more travel, a little bit more open. I'm not really sure the purpose of this bike. It's got, shall we say, it's not really a bike where you're thinking, oh wow, I just want to go and blast with this. It's more kind of like, oh, I'm going to go and suffer, and then I'm probably going to suffer a bit more because it's a cross-country bike for going uphill. So, I don't know. I'm not completely convinced with this bike and what it is and what it brings to the market. Because I think e-bikes probably, and this is what made me really think about it, e-bikes probably need to stay away from the e-mountain bike, from the mountain bike categories. They need to be a little bit more focused on what they're good at. So if you try and make a cross-country electric mountain bike to sell to people who ride cross-country and they like cross-country, you're almost selling yourself short, because when you try this motor in the NOX, which I'll bring up in a minute, you're like, well, and the Lapierre E-Zesty, you're like, well, you can do so much more. So you're kind of limiting yourself. But Focus also have the Raven Squared, which I've also tried. Again, another lightweight e-bike. Interesting concept. Works pretty well. But, I don't know. Again, not completely convinced. We're in a very experimental stage, but this thing weighs nothing. It's like 16 kilos or something, 17 kilos. It's really light. I mean, that's the advantage. And you can also take the motor out, and you've got technically a cross-country bike because you can use it with a cover. I actually do have a cover somewhere. I don't know where it is. One of these Fatsua covers. I got left with one a while back. So, interesting concept. I like it. I wouldn't say I'd buy one. It could probably be improved in the sense of, why are we making this bike? It's a question. But I do like it. I like nice bikes, so it is a nice bike. It's been studied, created, designed well. Finishing is exceptional. That internal shock's really nice. The way it sort of melds in with the frame. But, again, not completely convinced. So let's put this on top there. Right, we go back, fade. We're back. Hi guys. So actually, maybe I can reduce this window. Let's go back to the window capture. Let's put that back above. I'm going to get into a bit like into the streaming malarkey in a minute because it's quite it's fade back. Now if I go to my video capture device and then I put that at the top, getting to know OBS is quite complicated. So how do I change this? Interesting. Windowed projector, enable preview. Anyway, don't want to have too much of the rest of the world looking at our backgrounds. Trying to get the right background. I've got a white wall here, so that's pretty cool. Right. Okay. So that's the Trek Caliber. Lightweight bike, Fatsur motor, new software. Software's brilliant. Impressed with what's going on really with that bike. It's an impressive setup, impressive system. Dropping 10% of my frames have dropped. Oh, come on. Okay, back to green. Nope. We're going back. OBS can't make its mind up. Anyway, it says I've got an excellent connection. It was a bit slow. Hopefully the sound matches. So, we're getting the idea what streaming's like actually. Been on for 30 minutes. Interesting. Not sure I'd like to watch myself for 30 minutes, but never mind. Got quite a lot of information. Okay, stream stabilized again. I need a faster upload. We need fiber to the house, not fiber just to the street. That's the problem. We'll have to do it in another setting, I think. Right, so let's move on. Let's go and have a look at the NOX. So let's just switch out of that. NOX bikes. We're going to switch and I'm going to bring up this. Now this is a good thing to compare it against because the one that I've just ridden is noxcycles.com for those who might be keeping up with me, trying to figure out what's going on. We're going to get that website up. Just accept all the cookies because I never used Safari, but here we go. This thing, I tried this thing. Right, let's bring this up. It's called the NOX Hybrid 7.1. So let's just put this at the top and then do a fade. Goodbye. There we go. Tried this thing. It's got a Fatsur motor. Is that the one? Yeah, Fatsur motor. Let's just check that. No, yeah. 7.1. No, I'm wrong. Not that one. I'm talking, let's get to the right one. Bikes. It's the helium. Pretty sure it's the helium. There we go, this thing. Right. That's the one I was on. So many bikes out there. It's really hard to keep up with all of the different, what you're looking at. Actually taking the bike that you got in the public onto the, it's good value. Only 5,700. I'm not sure if we can call that good value, but whatever, we get the idea. So this thing, it's an enduro bike. I tried this, it's pretty amazing. I would say the motor's a little underpowered for this style of bike, maybe. Doesn't feel like a Shimano. If you compare this, the Fatsur motor, there's the motor in the system, and you compare it to the Shimano. The Shimano definitely has more push than this thing uphill. I was pretty surprised actually. how well this worked. But it was more of a descending, so it kind of drew into my head like, what is the point of this motor in this bike? Maybe you should have a more powerful motor, because they're not exactly trying to save weight. So I was a little confused over this, I have to admit. It wasn't the bike which made me go, wow. It rode well, but I was kind of confused with the concept, because if you want a lightweight motor, you want a lightweight bike. You do save kilos, but not to the point where you think, oh wow, it was worth the effort. So when you ride the Rotwild, you go, or Rotwild, as they say in German, it's a bike which makes sense. This thing, not completely convinced, because the engineering isn't the same level as what Rotwild have done. So it's giving me a low bit rate again. Stream is healthy. Weird. How does this work? Streaming malarkey. My bit rate's dropped, but it's okay. It's just a static image, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so however, on the descents, this thing was epic. It really, really flew. I mean, yeah, this thing was stable. It did rattle a bit. I discovered that the headset was loose, which was annoying, so I had to tighten that up. But yeah, this thing flew. It's 5,799. Quite expensive, I have to say. Not the cheapest bike, but quality components for the price. It's not bad. I think we're going to talk about bike pricing in another stream, because it's difficult to understand always what the pricing should be. Yeah, let's have a look. I just want to have a quick look on YouTube. Second, and this is dodgy. I'm currently streaming and also like having a look at what you're doing on the stream. Anyway, so what we need is some questions about these bikes. I could do a big mega edit where I put all these things together, but it would be quite complicated, and I don't know if I've got the time at the moment to do that. But maybe I can do it one day. Put all these bikes back to back. Having them all in the same place at the same time is a bit of a complication. That's pretty hard to do. So anyway, we've got a couple of people watching, which is cool. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate that. Hopefully we can get the stream up to more in the future, but for the moment, that'll do. A couple of people. I would like the NOX weight, but with a more powerful motor, I think, because that type of bike needs a more powerful motor. Now, it was interesting because the Rotwild that we looked at a minute ago, they did give you the option to have full power mode, even though you had only a 375 watt hour battery. So unlike the EPA RS in the Rise, which is that, where you are limited, you cannot change that motor or that profile. In the Rotwild, you can. You can add in the original EPA motor. So if you don't care about sucking your battery, you can actually run it at full power. However, I will say, I found on the ride that I did, 375 watts was pretty reasonable in the mountains where I was and what I was doing. If you're pedaling hard, if you're putting out 250, 300 watts of power when you ride, if you're fit, then it's not really a big issue, actually, the range, I have to say. Anyway, so let's have a look at the elephant in the room, which is called the Specialized. Anyway, let's just switch this out before I start. Yeah, be careful to make sure people don't have a look at the stream and see what dodgy stuff going on. Oh my God, what happened? My stream froze. stream's frozen. Cut, fade, cameras blanked. Let's just put that back, see if that helps. No. Okay, let's go back to the window. Let's fade back to that. Right. Oh, I think OBS is conked out. What is going on? Okay, well, let's just go back. Oh, no, it hasn't conked out. It's my stream has specialized turbo lower SL. There we go. Let's get that. Bad right more trails. There we go. Right, and now we'll fade into that. There we go. So, this thing is what started it all. Well, it didn't really. Lapierre Zesty came first. Or, yeah, the Lapierre Zesty came first. This came afterwards. But it's the first bike that really did it. I'll say the second bike that did it as an integrated unit. Lapierre Brave, Axel Group, they sell $1 billion worth of bikes every year, so they know what they're doing. Let's say, how many wheels it got? Hello, Miss Spence Summers. Oh, you're in there. It's got 2. Just playing with the stream, dude. That'll be Jamesy boy. How you doing, man? Good to see you on the stream. How many wheels it got? It's got a few. Got 4 viewers on there. You see, because you come on, give a like, it's going to bump up the stream. Oh my God, best comment ever. How many wheels it's got? Well, if you include the bearings, the sprockets and everything, I assume quite a lot of wheels going on in there and quite a lot of cogs inside the motor. But yeah, Specialized, it's an interesting bike. I've ridden it quite a lot. I really like it. In fact, it's the e-bike that has converted me to basically lightweight e-bikes. Now, I actually believe, everyone hates Specialized, and at the same time, I think I figured out why my computer's struggling sometimes. There was no power. Let's put some power in there. Ooh, that might speed it up. Tech problems. So basically, yeah, it's the bike that has kind of made a difference to my understanding of lightweight e-bikes. So we want to watch video, see if that comes up. Introducing the Turbo Lobo SL. I'll find it gets an interesting point. Right, this is actually an interesting shot to pause it on. I'll tell you why. Because this bike, when you do stuff like this, the bike follows you because it's light. You don't follow the bike. This is the very first bike where you had sort of the geometry in the override field. You go like, now it's starting to make sense when it came to e-bikes. Now, people say, it doesn't push like a normal motor, you've got a small battery. Honestly, in my experience, that's not really an issue. That lightweight. Oh, well, looks like things are going to piece stops doing the stuff. Yeah, back. Anyway, oh, we're back. The sound has come. Living in the countryside. What fun. Is the stream coming back? What am I?